Hey guys, I'm Erik Valind. I'm a lifestyle portrait photographer based out of New York City. So in this video, we're going to cover the Beauty Dish, how to use it, how to modify it, and why you might want to step up to one from your standard reflector that comes with your strobe to something like this with a little more control. And then I'm going to show you the best ways to apply it, where to position it, how to feather it so you get the absolute best light out of your Beauty Dish when you're taking your portraits. And finally, I want to show you how to modify this. The Beauty Dish can be used bare like this, or with grids, or with the diffusion sock, and I want to show you how those work and when you might want to apply them to get a different look in your photo. So this is the standard reflector that comes with your Broncolor Ceros. These are great. These work wonderful with an umbrella because it focuses the light into your bounce umbrella so you have a nice direction to it. And even by themselves, they give you a lot of control with the depth of the modifier and the high output silver so that you can more efficiently aim that light at your subject as a rim light, as a key light, or even to light up the background. So the reason you might want to step up from a standard reflector to a Beauty Dish is twofold. One, the Beauty Dish is going to be a little bit bigger. This is about 20 inches, so what this is going to do is going to enlarge the light source, and by bringing it in close at the same time, it's going to make a much softer light on our subject's face. The second part is this reflector that you have here in the center. So rather than the light coming directly out and hitting our subject directly in the face and leaving a little bit more of a brighter spot or a hot spot here, what it's going to do is going to block that immediate light, bounce it back into the Beauty Dish, and allow it to come out more evenly. So the Beauty Dish is larger to give you a softer light, and at the same time it's also going to spread the light out more efficiently so you get a much more even spread of light on your subject's face as well. So combined, we have a larger, softer light source, and having this reflector in the middle also gives us a much more even light source, so we have a more beautiful light to play with when we're lighting people's faces for portraits or beauty photography, and we also maintain that nice edge detail and depth of shadow that we get with the Beauty Dish or with the standard reflector. So it's the best of both worlds. So now you've seen the beautiful quality light that comes out of the Beauty Dish. They're wonderful when we have bigger stands here or we're not lugging equipment all over the place, but when you want to get out there and shoot on location, they're not the easiest thing to transport. Some companies have hard-sided cases that you can package them in to make sure they survive being shipped or dealing with the airline baggage handlers, but what it does is it adds another bag to your kit. So for me, I like to travel light, I like to shoot on location a lot. The Beauty Dish has been a very difficult modifier to use when I'm traveling. And that's where the Beauty Box comes into play. This is the Broncolor Beauty Box. This is essentially a collapsible Beauty Dish. If you look on the inside, we've got the same kind of shallow interior here. We've got the nice soft white to give us those diffuse highlights on our subjects. And we also have this center reflector that actually velcros in. So this breaks down like a softbox, but when it's set up, it mimics the exact light quality that you would get out of a Beauty Dish. So you can go ahead and bring this on the road with you and there's no excuses. You get that great quality of Beauty Dish light no matter where you are. So here we are, we've got our beautiful model Abigail, we've got our Beauty Dish set up overhead, and we've got our camera over here. Now I want to run you through a couple things that I keep in mind when I set up my initial shot when I'm shooting with the Beauty Dish. The first is the sweet spot. So if you look in the center of the dish, we have this reflector here. This is to give us that nice even quality of light on our subject's face. So when you're setting it up, you want to ask your model, hey, are you in the center of this? Is this lined up so that your face is in the center right there on that reflector? If they give you that go ahead, that means they're going to be right in the middle of this beam of beautiful light and they're going to have that nice even illumination on their face. So the second thing to consider is the distance of our subject and our light source. So this Beauty Dish here is around 20 inches across, so you want to basically start with a 20-inch distance of the Beauty Dish to your subject's face. We've got the grid here that we'll talk about that fits in there, so we know it's the same size as the Beauty Dish, so I can just float this in here and I can see that we're about 20 or 25 inches away from our light and our subject here, so that's going to give us a nice distance to start working with. And we've already got the placement dialed in because I made sure she was right there in the center of the Beauty Dish. So now we're ready to go, we dial in the proper power and we can start shooting. You saw me use the grid to get an idea of the distance that my light should be, but the grid is actually one of my favorite modifiers when it comes to the Beauty Dish. The Beauty Dish is wonderful all by itself, but if you really want to focus that beam of light in a little bit more, make sure we get the even illumination on the face, but a rapid fall off so that we're not lighting too much of her shoulders or her chest or any distracting jewelry or anything like that, then the grid really comes into play. By attaching this here to the front, we're not changing the spread or the evenness of the light, but we're just focusing that beam. So more of it will hit her, less of it will spill onto the background and over the rest of her body. So again, we've got that great quality, now we've just got a little more focus, and we still have that beautiful depth and three-dimensional look to our shadows. So the other common accessory you're going to use with your Beauty Dish is the sock. This is basically a fancy name for the diffusion material that you might find on the front of a softbox. Now this is wonderful because it cuts down on the specular highlights that you might find on people with a little shiny or oily skin type, or if you're shooting some kind of reflective product. So the Beauty Dish alone creates some beautiful light. When we add the grid, we have that nice depth to those shadows still, except now we've focused that beam of light a little bit tighter. And then when we add the sock, we go ahead and we cut down on the shiny specular highlights that you might find on some of your oilier skin types or shinier products. So if you're just starting out with a new lighting kit and you've got that standard reflector, you know that that gives you a lot of control, but we've just covered why you might want to step up to a Beauty Dish to get a more even exposure of light while still maintaining the beautiful contrast and punchy three-dimensional shadows, and then you have the extra control of adding the grid for a focused beam or the sock for having a more diffused quality of light. So in all, it's an extremely versatile modifier and a wonderful step up from the standard reflectors that you'll get with your new Studio Strobe.